Happy New Year and welcome to the biggest security update so far. I'm talking about the 114 security vulnerabilities patched by Microsoft this month with 3 zero-day threats that hackers are already exploiting in the wild. If you're a business owner or a personal computer user, you need to hear about this. And stick around because I'm going to reveal which of these bugs is so dangerous that even Microsoft is completely removing a feature from Windows rather than trying to fix it. That's coming up later in the video. I'm Brian Longworth, host of A Faster PC Live Technical Support, and today I'm breaking down everything you need to know about the January 2026 Patch Tuesday. Before we dive in, let me give you the headlines. Microsoft released 114 patches this month. That's huge. Adobe dropped 25 security fixes across 11 different products. And here's what you should worry about. One of the 0 days being exploited right now is an information disclosure vulnerability that hackers are using to set up even more dangerous attacks. But here's the good news. Most of these vulnerabilities can be patched automatically if you have your system configured to do so. The question is, do you? Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you already installed this month's security updates, or are you waiting to see what breaks first? I want to hear from you. Let's start with Microsoft because this is where the action is this month. 114 total CVEs, that's common vulnerabilities and exposures. These affect Windows, Office, SharePoint, SQL Server, Azure, and more. 8 of these are rated as critical, meaning they're the most severe. The rest are important, which still means you should not ignore them. Now, why such a massive release in January? Vendors often hold back certain patches during the holiday season to avoid disrupting businesses when IT staff are out of the office. That creates this January surge. Last year, Microsoft's January release was their second busiest ever. It looks like 2026 is starting strong in the same direction. But here's what really matters to you as a business owner or home computer user. 3 of these vulnerabilities are what we call zero-day threats, which means that hackers have discovered them and started exploiting them before Microsoft could release a fix. That's already happening right now in the wild. Let me be clear, if you haven't patched yet, your systems could be vulnerable to active attacks happening today. Let's talk about the scariest of these first, the vulnerability that hackers are actively exploiting right now. It's called CVE 2026-20805, and it's a desktop Windows Manager information disclosure vulnerability. Now, information disclosure might not sound that scary compared to something like remote code execution, but stick with me because this is actually really clever and dangerous. What this bug does is allow attackers to leak memory addresses from part of Windows called ALPC. That's Advanced Local Procedure Call. Think of it like this. Imagine your computer's memory is like a giant office building with thousands of rooms. Normally, an attacker doesn't know which room contains the valuable information. This vulnerability is like handing them a building directory with the exact room number. Why does that matter? Because once hackers know the memory address, they can use them in the next stage of their attacks, probably to execute malicious code on your system with precision. It's like casing a building before the heist. Microsoft hasn't said how widespread these attacks are, but we believe they're targeted and limited in scope for now. The key word is for now. Here's what you need to know. Install this month's Windows updates immediately. This isn't one to wait on. Here's a quick question for the comments. Do you run Windows updates automatically or do you manually control when updates are installed? There's actually a right answer, and I'll share my recommendations later in the video. Zero-day threat number 2 is CVE 2026-21265, a secure boot certificate expiration vulnerability. This one's publicly known, and while it's unlikely to be exploited by hackers, it could cause massive headaches for IT administration and business owners, even personal computer users. Here's the deal. Secure Boot is a security feature that makes sure only trusted software can run when your computer starts. It uses digital certificates to verify that trust. But certificates expire, just like your driver's license or a food safety certification. This vulnerability is about those certificates expiring. If you don't update them, the system might stop receiving security updates altogether, or they might refuse to boot trusted software, including your Windows operating system. Imagine showing up to work and your computer just won't start because the digital certificate has expired. That's a nightmare scenario here. Microsoft published information about this months ago, but it's officially being patched now. The good news is it's unlikely hackers will exploit this directly. The bad news, if your IT team ignores it, businesses could find themselves unable to receive future security patches, which makes them sitting ducks for other vulnerabilities. If you're a business owner or even a personal computer user, this is exactly why it's important to have a managed IT service provider like a faster PC. We monitor those kinds of issues and make sure certificates are updated before they become a problem. You shouldn't have to worry about obscure certificate expirations. That's our job. The third publicly known and zero-day threat is a throwback to 2024, CVE 2024-55414, which affects the Windows Motorola soft modem driver. Before you tune out thinking, I don't have a modem, here's the catch. This driver ships by default with supported Windows systems, even though it's completely depreciated. It's legacy code that no one uses anymore, but it's still sitting there on your computer, creating a security hole. Rather than fix this old, outdated driver, Microsoft is doing the smart thing and just removing it completely. It's like finding a rusty lock on a door that's never used. Instead of fixing the lock, just remove the door entirely. This one requires local access to exploit. So it's not as scary as the first zero-day threat, but it's still being patched for a reason. Make sure you install this month's updates to get it removed from your system. Beyond those 3 zero-day threats, there are 5 other critical rated vulnerabilities you should know about. First, we've got 2 Microsoft Office bugs. These are interesting because they can be exploited through the preview pane. We've been talking about the preview pane for multiple months, in fact, about a year. That means just previewing an email attachment or document could potentially trigger the attack, but you don't even have to open it. For business owners who deal with lots of emails, I know even some private users deal with lots of emails as well, and documents daily, this is a real concern. My advice is disable the preview pane in Microsoft Outlook if you haven't already, and definitely install these patches. There's also CVE 2026-20876, which affects Windows Virtualization-based security, or VBS. This is a new security feature in Windows, and this bug allows attackers to escalate privileges to the highest trust level, meaning that the user could actually have more rights than what they should have. Security researchers noted this is the first time we've seen a bug like this in the VBS enclaves. This makes it significant. Here's one more I teased about at the beginning, CVE 2026-0386, that affects Windows deployment services. This vulnerability is so problematic that Microsoft isn't just patching it, they're removing the entire hands-free deployment feature by mid-2026. If you're a business that uses Windows deployment services for automatic computer setup, you need to audit your environment now and start planning to migrate to a different solution. This isn't optional. Microsoft is pulling the plug. Business owners, I want to hear from you. Are you using the Windows deployment services in your organization? Drop a comment below and let me know, because this change is going to impact a lot of companies. All right, let's shift gears to talk about Adobe, because they had a busy month as well. Adobe released 11 security bulletins covering 25 vulnerabilities across a bunch of products: Dreamweaver, InDesign, Illustrator, InCopy, Bridge, and their entire Substance 3D product line. That's Modeler, Stager, Painter, Sampler, and Designer. Oh, and ColdFusion as well. The ColdFusion patch is the most urgent. It fixes a single code execution bug, and it's rated Priority 1, which is Adobe's highest urgency level. If you're running ColdFusion, and I know that some businesses still are, the patch needs to be installed immediately. Dreamweaver, InDesign, and several of the Substance 3D products all have critically rated code execution vulnerabilities. These could allow attackers to run malicious code on your system if you open a specially crafted file. The good news, none of these bugs are publicly known or being actively exploited right now. That gives you a small window to patch before attackers start weaponizing them. If you use any Adobe products, and let's be honest, who doesn't use at least one of them? Make sure you're running the latest versions. Adobe's Creative Cloud will usually auto-update if you've selected it, and we'll show you later on how to make sure that you have selected auto-update. Beyond Microsoft and Adobe, there were several smaller updates from other vendors this month. So what do you do right now? Let me give you 3 action steps. Step number 1, if you haven't already, install this month's Windows and Office updates immediately. Zero-day threats are being exploited in the wild, which makes this non-negotiable. By the way, if you still have Windows 10, these updates are not available to you. And Microsoft not only had 3 zero-day threats this month, they had a zero-day threat in December and also in November. We can update most Windows 10 based computers to Windows 11, and you need to get these updated so that you're protected. I'll show you how to install the updates in a few minutes. Step number 2, update your Adobe products. Open Creative Cloud and check for updates across all installed applications. If you're using ColdFusion, that one's your priority. Step number 3, and this is an important one, stop treating security updates as optional or something you'll get around to eventually. These updates exist because real threats are out there, and businesses and individuals are being compromised every single day. Here's my professional recommendation. Enable automatic updates on your personal devices. And if you're a business owner or even a personal computer user, partner with a managed services provider who can handle this for you. In fact, a faster PC can automate your patch management, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually switch over to a full screen, and I'm going to show you how you can install the updates for Microsoft and Adobe. We're going to click Windows Start, look for a cog or a gear. I have mine in a folder that I've created called Utilities. We're going to open up Settings. From Settings, we're going to click on Windows Update. From Windows Updates, if you have updates available, if you haven't installed them yet, they'll probably show up here. You can also click Check for Updates. Look for this symbol also in the lower right-hand corner near your clock. Over there in the lower right-hand corner, if you see that symbol, it will indicate that updates are either waiting to install or that your computer needs to reboot to complete installing the updates. What happens is part of the update is installed in the operating system, but you have to reboot because additional portions are installed as the computer is shutting down, and then the final portions are installed as the computer is booting back up. Now I'm also going to show you how to update Adobe software. And so we're going to go and look for Adobe Creative Cloud. Now, if you don't have Adobe Creative Cloud, maybe you're just using Adobe Acrobat Reader, you can update directly from that software as well. So here we go to Adobe Creative Cloud and we can click on Updates. So what you want to do is you want to click on Manage Auto Updates and make sure that auto updates are on for all of the programs that you have as well, and click Done. Now, if there are any updates that are available, they also will show up here. You can click Check for Updates, and you'll see that I do have auto updates installed. Some of the updates were installed 4 days ago. Some of them were installed longer than that ago. As updates are available, then Creative Cloud, if you're running it, if it's allowed to run at startup, will actually search for the updates and will go ahead and install those updates on your computer. Now, I mentioned a little bit ago that a faster PC provides managed services, and we do this for businesses, for medical offices, for attorneys' offices, for dental offices, accountants' offices. We do this for nonprofits. We do this for people that have a home office, and also for residential clients. And what that does, it provides remote support, but we also do provide patch management with that. Twice a day, we're looking for updates to Windows. On average, every 4 hours, we're looking to update programs such as Zoom, Firefox, Chrome, 7-Zip. You may not have all of these programs, but if you do have them, we're looking for updates and we're going to install those automatically for you. Also, every hour we're looking for updates to the Windows security if you in fact use Windows security. And so if you're out there and you say, hey, you know what, I really don't want to have to try to keep track of all this, you need a faster PC. We can make sure that your updates are installed. In fact, last year, our automated patches installed over 1.3 million updates on computers. And your computers could be computers that receive those automated updates from a faster PC. So give us a call here, 772-878-5978, 772-878-5978. You can also visit us on the web, afasterpc.com. Again, afasterpc.com. When you're there, you'll be able to actually schedule a discovery call with me where I can sit down with you and show you how a faster PC can protect your computers. Remember, when you have or want to prevent computer or cybersecurity problems, you need a faster PC.